In Nigeria, 1 in every 4 girls and 1 in every 10 boys will be sexually abused before the age of 18. Over 9 million children under the age of 18 are exposed to sexual violence every year. %71% females and 69% males reported experiencing multiple incidents of sexual violence. Only 38% of girls and 27% of boys tell someone. Majority of the child's victims never tell anyone about their experience.
Even when children do report at all such cases of violence, they would usually report to their friends.
Nigeria is the most populous black country in the world, with a population of well over 180 million people. Reputed as the giant of Africa, the country unfortunately grapples with child protection challenges. 1 in every 4 girls and 1 in every 10 boys will be sexually abused before the age of 18. Over 9 million children under the age of 18 are exposed to sexual violence every year. These figures will likely increase if nothing is done about it. Child sexual abuse is any form of sexual activity directed towards a child by an adult, a youth, or an older child to satisfy the adult's sexual desire or interest. These sexual activities include unwanted completed sex acts, attempted non-consensual sex acts, abusive sexual contact, and pressured sex. Child sexual abuse can be physical or non-physical. Physical abusive sexual contact with a child includes vaginal or anal penetration of the victim, use of force and pain in the case of rape, fondling and fingering of a child's genitals, making a child touch another person's genitals, and use of objects in the child's genitals. Non-physical child sexual abuse includes actions such as verbal harassment with sexual connotations, showing pornography materials to a child, child pornography, deliberately exposing an adult's genitals to a child, making a child watch or hear sexual acts, watching a child while the child dresses or undresses, and taking pictures of a child in nude or other sexually suggestive or compromising postures. No child under the age of 18 can legally consent to any act of a sexual nature. Majority of the child victims never tell anyone that they have been abused. Even when they do, they risk being accused of complicity, especially when force was not used. The spiral of silence is often reinforced by myths and gender norms that encourage the sexual abuse of children.
One of them was the popular notion that rape is the fault of the girl, especially when she's dressed in a particular way, or the rape victim or survivor is usually blamed. Asking such questions like, what did you wear, where did you go, why did you go there, what time did you go there, removing the blame from the perpetrator.
The fear of stigmatization makes the situation a lot worse. To check the trend in the Federal Capital Territory, Soar initiative initiated a 2-year project with funding from the United Nations Trust Fund to End Violence Against Women, Untf.
We got a 2-year project to reach out to communities to establish structures that will help protect girls in those communities from sexual violence.
The title of the project is Mobilizing Communities to End Sexual Violence Against Girls. The focus of the project is actually on girls. Girls are the beneficiaries on this project.
The project targeted Wumba and Dutse, two ethnic Gbagi communities in the Abuja Municipal Area Council of Abuja.
And we're working with two communities on the project, Wumba and Dutse communities within Amak. Now, the purpose of this project, or the idea for this project actually came when we were working with schools. Now, in getting to schools, we saw that children are reporting cases of sexual abuse, and they attribute it to cases that have happened within their communities. So we looked at it and we conceived the idea of going to communities to actually establish structures that will help these girls report cases of sexual abuse, that will help them break the silence on sexual abuse and make them have the boldness to come out and report.
The child abuse, particularly sexually, was very limited, or was not, I would say, was not heard of. But with the coming of people from different parts of the country, the place have become too open.
Before we have an issue of child abuse, but when this organization come to my community, from today I'm very happy, because if they have the issue, they will tell me, we'll put hands together and work it.
We are having it difficult then because there was no way of controlling it. There is some information, things were happening on child abuse. They do bring report to us. At times we handle it to the police, police issue. At times you will not get result of it. Till when the Soar came into Wumba community that is to educate people, to enlighten people on this child abuse. And since then, we have found it easier and how to deal with it. But then it was very, very difficult. And it was rampant because people were not educated and we were not enlightened on that is the consequence of all this act.
We realized that a lot of the girls who have been sexually abused were abused from home, and they live in communities around those schools.
The project started out with the establishment of a project implementation and advisory team, PIAT. The PIAT, made up of relevant stakeholders with experience in the field of child protection, meets quarterly to advise on project activities and help ensure that due diligence is carried out during the implementation of the project. This was followed by a one-week rigorous training of project staff, volunteers and members of the PIAT with focus on the concept of sexual abuse, child protection and the establishment of child protection committees.
Really need the help and the support, and if they don't get it from us, where else would they get it from? I remember when I was at home, I didn't have anybody to talk to. I couldn't even talk to my mom, and the abuse went on for 8 years because I felt alone. Who does a child talk to?
Children are primary beneficiaries. They are the target of this project, and we need to know all the activities involved in the project and your role as a volunteer staff.
Create awareness and advocate on issues of sexual violence. Secondly, build the capacity of stakeholders, including children themselves, to prevent it and respond when it does happen. And lastly, provide psychosocial support. Rape is usually a crime of power and control. It's not a man who decides to rape will rape you irrespective of what you are wearing. Yes. He's just looking for a victim. Yes. So it's not about what you're wearing. It's not about how you appear. Of course, we teach our daughters, we teach our girls for the sake of modesty, for the sake of their personal integrity, to dress well, but not so that they will not be raped.
This was followed by focus group meetings with community leaders and peer group members, which established a communication linkage between the project and members of the target communities.
Apart from you have the chief pallet and you have the Apollo Settlement police station. That's the two solutions which can help us.
This paved way for rallies in Wumba and Dutse. It was the first of its kind for members of the suburban community sandwiched by neighboring upscale estates. The goal was to get the residents to accept the project and throw their weight behind it. This indeed was achieved.
This is Emmanuel Tanko, Master Emmanuel Ivan, Abemona Club from Siandekong. Master Mohammed Damfulani Mekifi Ideye, or your representative. Mekifi Ideye, or your representative. We have Honorable Adams Ademi. Clap for him, clap for him. Now the men be this who we are selected. Mazan kenan a wannan kungiya wanda haka sarkin gari yawa madala again. You know they easy to talk and talk and talk again.
An objective of the project was to establish community-based structures that would perpetually stem the tide of child sexual abuse, particularly against the girl child. One of such structures is the Community-Based Child Protection Committee, CCPC.
Each of the peer groups, talking about the ethnic group leaders in the community, the traditional council, the peer groups, the men, the women, the youth, all nominated people that they believed in the community had a good rapport with the children and were sufficiently concerned about issues of children to function in these committees. And so, following the nomination, child protection committees were established.
From both communities, we have about 37 members on the Child Protection Committee that are working to address issues of sexual violence. They are also creating awareness in this community. They've carried out some activities within the community to create awareness.
The CCPC, a group of volunteers on the project, were adequately trained and equipped with knowledge and tools needed to change a perception about sexual violence and respond to reported cases of sexual violence against girls in their community. This empowered them to create awareness on the ills of child sexual abuse and intervene in cases reported to its members from the community. Linkages were also created between the CCPCs and selected service providers to provide linkages and easy referrals for cases of sexual abuse reported to the CCPCs in the project communities. These service providers include SDS, Wardclef, FIDA, AMAC, Education Secretariat, Daughters of Abraham Foundation, the Nigeria Police Force CIID Gender Unit, and the Child and Youth Protection Foundation.
What we're telling them is, what is not good, uncle or daddy or somebody is doing this thing to you, it is not good. Don't keep quiet, speak out, resist him. Tell mommy or tell daddy or tell somebody you trust.
So there are several cases that have been reported to us, and whenever the case is reported to us, we call on the executive. First of all, we first report to our chairman. They call on the executive to get involved, and at the end of the day, we move in action. We get those people that are involved.
We have seen cases of children who have been abused. Community members now recognizing and accepting the role of these committees in the community, reporting cases to the committee. We've had situations where the chief of the community, also recognizing the impact of the committee on the community, now invites them to sit over cases of sexual violence and other child protection issues that come up in the communities.
What I've been teaching them is how to protect themselves from being abused, especially in an environment in the community like this. When we discover that there's a lot of rapists around, we notice that there's a lot of things that is going wrong, and we have been receiving a lot of news concerning what is going on among the teenagers, especially girls. A lot of reports have been coming that some of them have been raped, and some parents are bringing report that some of them have been raped.
Because we realize that most of the parents, they don't have enough time for their kids, especially the girl child, and most of them need to be attended to. So many things are happening.
The committee members are the ones addressing issues of sexual violence within the community.
One of the community chiefs told me that it was so bad that he really didn't know what to do.
Sexual abuse is a crime. It's not something that people should keep quiet about. It's not something you should handle as a family matter.
My mouth, my armpits, my private parts, no one should touch but me. Good. My mouth, my armpits, my private parts, my mouth, my armpits, my private parts, my mouth, my armpits, my private parts, no one should touch but me.
The project also set up a mentorship program for the girls.
Why did we bring up the idea of female mentors? We realized that even though the CCPC, the Child Protection Committees in the communities have been established, have been inaugurated, they are working, they are raising awareness, some of the girls may not have the confidence and the boldness to walk up to these committees in the event that something like rape or abuse does take place, or if they have questions to ask about sexual issues, who do they go to? Because again, in Africa and in Nigeria specifically, the whole issue about sex, there's a lot of secrecy and there's this culture of silence.
Most parents will not tell them these things, you know. They just feel it's too awkward, it's too, how can I say that to my child, how can I start telling them? Even when the child is trying to ask questions, they want to keep quiet. A bad girl, I be saying that.
We're also able to train about 314 girls in the schools. Now, from those 314 girls, we had cases that were reported, and those cases have been addressed. Some of them have been addressed, some of them are still undergoing investigation.
Part of the strategy of Soar initiative, which we also brought into this project, was to train girls themselves as peer educators with the needed information, the needed information to first protect themselves and also share information with their friends so that their friends can be protected. And if in the events that abuse or rape does take place, they know exactly what to do.
The Kids Club is a monthly rendezvous for the children in a relaxed yet educative atmosphere.
Let's go again.
Can the child give consent to engage in sexual activity?
Now.
How does child talking promote child sexual abuse? Simply, you can be talking with someone can just call you, and from there, you don't know what will happen. Something that anything can happen. Not that what will happen. Anything can happen. So while walking, anybody can just pull you anywhere or tell you come inside my house and say something in my house. Let's clap for her.
At the end of the day, the girls who are the primary focus of the project are armed with requisite knowledge to tackle the menace.
We're able to reach out to over 1,700 children, in these schools that we identified within and serving the communities.
I learned how to protect myself, how to talk to men whenever I see them, and how to take care of girls who have been sexually abused outside.
Personally, it has helped me for being bold. It gave me boldness to dismiss bad influence from peer groups and neighborhood, the men in my neighborhood and boys.
I have freedom of speech, and I know my rights as a girl. I'm not up to 18. Even though I'm up to 18, I can't be opposing myself to men.
From today, I'm very happy because if they have the issue, they will tell me, we'll put hands together and work it. That is how we are doing it, and we are still continuing it. I'm giving them the 99% for their work. We are very happy with them for that.
The children themselves, they don't even know how to control themselves on people around. When you go to someone's place or when you stand with your male, with the male guy. So, but with this education, when the Soar come in to the Wumba, with their education, they enlighten people orientation with children, and we were able to manage it.
It's been a wonderful experience working with the children in the community and the children in school. Now, it gives me great joy personally when I see that children that have been sexually abused can actually come out to talk about it. Now, I'm talking from the angle of working with Soar Initiative, and I'm also talking from the angle of being a victim of sexual abuse. And I didn't have a voice to speak out when I actually had my own experience. This project has actually given me the opportunity to give a voice to children.
I feel great. I feel happy. I'm really grateful to God that Soar Initiative has been used as a tool, to bring about help and information that the children most need to grow up into wholesome and fulfilled adults.